Good morning.
Good morning.
Life, your extraordinary experience. So during the month of August, this whole entire month, we've walked the bridge across time as we have celebrated and commemorated our personal and individual spiritual growth and expansion. And as we look back on our lives, we can know that every time we choose to decide whether we ultimately judge the decision good, bad, or somewhere in between, we took a step to where we are today. Everything that we've done, every decision has led us to where we are right now, to this extraordinary moment, to our extraordinary lives. And so the very first thing I want us to do today, before we move into two ideas for making decisions to create an even more extraordinary life, and before we have an opportunity to set a powerful intention, there's that powerful intention part again, for our next level of expression, I want us to celebrate our extraordinary lives right now. Are you up for that?
Yay.
Yeah? Let me hear it. Come on. Yeah. All right. So first, let's look at 3 ways your life is extraordinary right now. So this is how this is going to work. Take a moment to reflect. Reflect on your life as it is right now. Now, your mind might want to go to some challenge you're having, maybe health or relationships or finances or jobs or whatever. And if that's where it wants to go initially, we'll just thank it for the reminder. But decide to go somewhere else, because no matter what may feel like a challenge, there are so many more things that are extraordinary. I'm reminded of a line from the beautiful Jamie Lula song, where it's, I've got so much more to be grateful than to be sorry for. So right now, contemplate 3 things that are absolutely extraordinary about your life. 3 things. As an example, I would say my extraordinary relationship with the man of my dreams, right here. My amazing children and grandchildren. This extraordinary center that I'm incredibly blessed to serve, and the extraordinary people that are all a part of it. My extraordinary friends, of which you are also that. So those are just a few of the extraordinary things that are in my life. So let me hear some of yours. I want you to just call them out, and I want you to shout them out and just keep going as long as you can think of them. So let's go. It's okay to shout over each other.
My relationships.
Okay, let's go. What are you? Okay.
Consulting for Galaxy. My health.
And enough money?
My kids, my wife.
My children. My grandchildren.
My family, my
My
daughter,
wife.
Right, my garden, my home, my trees. Yeah,
my
roses.
children and my
Right.
grandson.
My
Treats
garden.
to have after, yes, everything's
My collection of crude knives.
Coffee. Yay, coffee. I love it. Okay. That was incredible. Did you feel the energy just rise when everybody was shouting out all of those things? I could feel the energy.
Yeah, you don't think about what you're going to have until you really think about it.
Right. The energy in this room just really, it was great. This is what happens when we acknowledge the good. We can't help but do it with a smile on our face too, right? The extraordinary things that are in our lives. There's that palpable energy. In our work together the past 2 weeks, we've discussed the single most important piece of advice for bringing into your experience whatever dream you may have. Does anybody remember what it was? What is the most important piece of advice for bringing into your experience whatever dream you may have?
Set intention.
Positive.
Act like it already is.
Yeah, positive thinking.
Right? Well, it came from the note from the universe. Remember, we've been reading
Yeah,
those notes from the
it's
universe?
There. You just have to
Okay?
get it.
Okay, well, here it is. One more time. I'm going to read it one more time. Do you know what the single most effective piece of advice ever given to anyone who wanted a life partner is the exact same single most effective piece of advice ever given to anyone who wanted to live in prosperity? Which also happens to be the most single effective piece of advice ever given to anyone who wished to discover their purpose, foster peace on earth, improve their health, or dance Gangnam Style. So what is that advice? Be happy now.
Oh, that's why I was telling
Whoop,
my kids.
whoop, the universe. Be happy now. We have to be happy right where we are, because that tells the universe that it's going the way you want it to go. And everything is, if you're happy now, then it says, the universe says yes, let's provide more of that. Acknowledging your extraordinary life is the way to be happy now. And I want to offer you a couple more thoughts on being happy now that come from Neil Donald Walsh's book. And this is not his Conversations with God book. This is one that came out a few years back called Happier Than God. Turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary experience. 2 ideas for being extraordinarily happy right now. Give others every experience you seek. The fastest way to have any experience you want and to have and be more extraordinarily happy in this moment is to cause another to have the same experience. Whatever you wish to experience in your own lifetime, cause another to experience it in theirs. If you wish to experience love, cause another to be loved. If you wish to experience abundance, cause another to be abundant. If you wish to experience success, cause another to be successful. If you wish to experience power, cause another to be powerful. If you wish to experience wisdom, cause another to be wise. If you wish to experience romance, cause another to be romanced. If you wish to experience forgiveness, cause another to be forgiven. If you wish to experience safety and security, cause another to be safe and secure. If you wish to experience peace, cause another person to experience peace. Got it? Yeah? And why is this? Why is this? Well, in Happier Than God, Welsh answers that question. He says, because you are the only one in the room. God said, I didn't understand. God said, I didn't understand. I said something like, huh? God explained, all things are one thing. There is only one thing, and all things are part of the one thing. That is. Therefore, what you do for another, you do for yourself. And what you fail to do for any other, you fail to do for yourself. And I suspect that at least on an intellectual level, we really all do understand that, right? At some point. But now comes the huge part of the mystery formula for how life works. Walsh calls it the multiplier effect. By focusing on just yourself, you limit the amount of energy that you output. Because in our human incarnation, there's just you. There's just the one. Yet, by focusing on others, we multiply the amount of energy we output by the number of others on whom we focus. This isn't something we often think about, but it does make perfect sense when you think about it, doesn't it? If everything is energy, and it is, and if energy creates, and it does, then the more energy we use, the more quickly and magnificently we will create. And everything that we create, we experience. That's because ultimately, all things that proceed from us come back to us. It's all a circle. And then this is because there is no one else in the room. There really is no one but you, in multiple forms. The very foundational principle of science of mind, it's all God and we are all one. There's one universal substance whose business is to take form in multiplicity. And so, said simply, we multiply our good when we help others get what we desire. And this is one way to be extraordinarily happy in the moment. The second way, and I want to briefly look at this today, and this is kind of a biggie, so you might want to kind of lean in just a little bit, even though I've got the microphone. Maybe nudge the person next to you, wake up. Right. Have only preferences. Have only preferences. You heard me correctly. We can make ourselves so unhappy we miss our extraordinary life. Simply by finding it impossible to accept life just as it is, by presenting itself right here now. Sounds like what we talked about last week, right? But you can decide to celebrate this moment and everything that it brings. Remember one of last week's mantras, and this is something I have been saying all week long. Thank you for everything. Or I am grateful for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. Wow, that's really powerful, especially when you go through your week and you come upon things when you think, I can't complain about this. No, I'm going to have no complaint whatsoever. Did anybody practice saying that all week? What happened? Anything happen?
Great week.
A great week? Okay. This occurs when we're willing to shift our addictions to preferences. Now, when we hear the word addiction, we tend to think of big, serious addictions like alcohol or drugs or gambling, that kind of thing. But that's not necessarily what I mean here. What I mean is our little addiction to having everything exactly as we want it, or we can't be happy. We set those parameters for ourselves. We say, well, if this doesn't happen, and this, and this, exactly the way, I have a friend, honest to God, she cannot be happy unless she does something in a perfect order, and it has to happen. She even gave her husband the job of doing the grocery shopping, and her father said to her, "You're not going to be happy." Okay, but she had to give up something because she can't do it all. She needed a partner, someone to help do these things. So how do we know if something is an addiction or just a preference? And that's not a rhetorical question. I really want to know if anyone knows. How do we know if
Probably
something...
both.
Well, if something is an addiction or a preference, it's the reaction we have if we don't get it. Okay? If it's an addiction, we are unhappy, we're upset, we don't get it, something we're addicted to. It's like, I can be this way without my coffee in the morning. I can have a headache. I can be grumpy. I can give myself permission to be just a little bit, on the negative side because I haven't had my coffee. To me, that's kind of an addiction. It's how we react to it. If we don't get what we're addicted to, life stinks, It's like not a good attitude. But if it's a preference, well, we may even be a little bit disappointed, but it doesn't disturb our underlying happiness, and it definitely does not upset our extraordinary life. If you're offered a bowl of vanilla ice cream, and the truth is that you prefer chocolate, and I mean, who wouldn't, right? It's perfectly okay. In fact, it's very healthy to indicate your preference. Thank you very much. You are very kind. But is there any chocolate ice cream in the house? To be honest, that's my absolute favorite. The result of this kind of honest exchange would be that you could wind up with your favorite. And the worst that can happen is that you'll wind up with vanilla, which is okay too, right? Well, maybe with a little chocolate sauce on it. But, you don't have to be attached to that. Because your taste for chocolate is a preference. It's not an addiction. Transforming addictions to preferences is done by simply taking an honest look at your responses to life. How are you responding? How are you deciding? Remember, we get to. That's what we're in charge of, how we decide to respond to life. And so we celebrate our extraordinary lives by making them more so, by being so aware and so grateful for all that's extraordinary in them right now, right in this moment, by giving to others what we desire to get for ourselves, and by changing our addictions to preferences. I prefer that, and that's okay. That takes us to our final work for today and the last element in our monthly theme of creating that bridge across time. What's your next extraordinary dream? What's up next? What is your next extraordinary dream that you desire to create? And here's something that's really important. It's a really important spiritual metaphysical teaching. You cannot not create. I know, that's kind of like a triple negative in there, right? Just like you cannot not breathe and your heart cannot not beat. You cannot not create. And because you cannot not create, you are either creating by design or by default. Because we're always creating. This means you're either intentionally calling forth what wants to burst forth from you in the next turn on your spiral of spiritual evolution, your dreams, or you are creating by what you see in the world. You're letting what's out there dictate what you create. And you create by your past experiences or your programming, by your paradigm. Now when I put it in those terms, which would you prefer to do? Which would you prefer? Would you prefer to the first or the second? Would you prefer to create by design, by being consciously aware of what it is we're creating? And are we doing this? Are we consciously creating what it is we desire to experience? Some of us don't even think they have the right to create by design. We may have someone sitting here today thinking they don't have the right to have a life by design. And I'm here to say that yes, we do. Each and every one of us has the right to live their life by design. So let's say that together. I have a right.
I have a right.
A divine right.
A divine
To create my life by design.
To create my life by design.
So if you really want to honor those inner urges, those nudges where the divine in you is saying, I want to be more fully, more freely, more expansively expressed in this world, then you will need to begin to create by design. And to do that, you have to have a picture or a vision or whatever you decide it is that you want to create. In Proverbs 29:18, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So, what is your vision of your expanded life? What is your next dream? Are you clear about it? We are here, every one of us in the center, to help you bring it into fruition. What would you love to do, be, experience? What would bring you joy? If you really have no idea, then just make something up. Ernest Holmes once wrote, "Consciousness must be conscious of something." Consciousness must be conscious of something. Write one dream. You all have a piece of paper there. Write one dream you want to incubate on the form that's right in front of you. It reads, let's see, I've got one. I thought I had one. Didn't I? One up here? Yes, okay. It reads, "My current dream is," and remember, there's no big or small in God. Whatever your current dream is right now is perfect. And if you would like a personal, tangible support in bringing this dream to fruition, just let us know that. Otherwise, you're free to be anonymous, and please know that who we are and everything we do here at this center is in support of your dream. When you're complete, when you have it all completed, you can fold it once and you can pass it up to the front, and we'll put it in our little prayer treatment box, and we'll know that that it is coming to fruition. So, with the support of everyone here, so go ahead and fill those out for just a moment.
Well, this is just for us. We can't wish for somebody else, huh?
What is your dream? What is your dream?
Okay, yeah.
What is your dream? There is no big or small in the mind that createth all. When we have all that completed, we'll do an affirmative prayer. And for those that listen to this talk later on, they're more than welcome to contact us here, and we will know their dreams as well for them. Okay, so do we want to pass them forward and we'll do an affirmative prayer, or hold on to them while we do the prayer? Let's just hold on to them while we do our affirmative prayer. Knowing there is only one life, one power, one mind, and that mind is the mind of God, and that mind is my mind. I know that my dreams and desires are God-given, God-inspired, and whatever divine inspiration I receive comes complete with the knowledge that it has already been given to me. So I know right now that I can do, and I can be, and I can have all that I desire, for I am one with the source of all manifestation. There is no dream too large or too small for spirit to manifest. I open my whole being to my full potential and accept my dream as already complete. In continual gratitude, I give thanks. And I release this treatment knowing that it is already done. And together we say, and so it is.